again, everybody. Fiber Spider here with another origami tutorial for you. And today we are going to be making a little dish. Yes, bowl, dish, container, basket, whatever you want to call it. It is adorable and functional. Yep, with just one piece of paper. And I think you guys are really going to like this. What I found interesting is that the base doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. It's sort of raised up a little bit. And based on the paper that you used, for instance, this one has colors on both sides. Now, if you use a paper that has just one color, you can have the color on the inside or sort of like a star formation on the bottom and outside there. So either way, it is adorable, and let's get to it. Alrighty, so first things first, if you want the color to be on the inside of the bowl, start with your colored side facing down, white side facing up, and let's get started with our preliminary folds. And for those of you that are familiar with making an origami crane, you will find this familiar. So start by folding your paper in half to make a rectangle. And then open, turn, and fold the opposite way to make a rectangle once again. Okay, open it on up. So this time with the colored side facing up, we're going to do triangles in half to make a triangle, and then in half to make a triangle once again in the opposite direction. There we go, and then open, and turn, and into a triangle once again. And then open, pop the center up, and we're going to do a little bit of pinch and squish. So pinch at the mountain folds and squish the valley folds, bringing it together to create our basis. There we go. Okay, so with this open end here, have that facing up. Very, very important. The closed end is at the bottom. Then we're going to do the kite fold, having this edge along the center. Now, I've seen this done where you only use one half of the kite. Honestly, I think that it's a lot easier if you do both sides, quite frankly, because we're using these folds as guides for folds that we're going to have to do in a bit. So we have our kite fold, and then just take the top layer and fold it down along this edge here. And this too is going to act as a guide. And then unfold that, and then unfold your kite fold. So we're using these lines here and this line here. Now, folding the bottom to this intersection right here where the crease is, folding it straight up, right where that crease is, that point, and crease. All right, and then we need to use these creases here as our next guide for folding this point down. or up, as the case may be. So that point there and this point here where the creases are, we're going to be folding this up to make a triangle. And the reason why I liked to do both kite folds is that way you have two crease lines to go as a guide, as opposed to just one. So we have our second crease. Now you're going to want to really crease this because we're going to need these lines in the next step. Just really crease them. If you have a bone folder on hand, use it. There we go. And then comes the next step. Okay, now from here, we're going to unfold these and open this entire piece up. Okay, so as you can see, we have ultimately a large square, a smaller square in there, and then we have some more creases as well. So basically this square, this outer square, we're going to be creating mountain folds. And it's going to seem a little bit daunting at first, but you know, just take it slow. So work on pinching these creases into mountain folds. And this line here, right now it is a valley fold. This little crease here, we need to make that also into a mountain fold. It's easiest to deal with the square first and then deal with those little ones later. Also, I have found that it worked out better for me, you know, just like really creasing those creases as opposed to folding them back on themselves, because that I found created sort of a double crease, which did not help in the long run. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we have our square, more or less. Now, dealing with these little creases on the sides, I find it's easiest if you line up, if you line up your edges and then pinch like that. And pinch. And a little pinch. One more. Little pinch. Okay, now for the fun part. We need to sort of collapse the center down into itself, which can be a little bit fussy, a little bit fiddly, a little bit finagly, because it is not going to want to cooperate with you. But just go slow and go based on the creases that you already have and work it into itself. Until eventually you have a nice flat diamond shape, like a gem. give it a good flattening. Now, it is, at this point, more than likely it is not going to line up perfectly, and that is okay. So if I open this up a little bit, you can see how the square went into itself. So it's sort of a sinking fold, if you will. Alrighty. Okay, next step is a little bit easier. Bringing this small edge here to the center crease here, just on one side. So bringing up this top flap here, and then bringing this side, lining it up with the center crease. And squoosh, like so. So it lines up nice and neatly. Then bringing this top flap down along this edge here and fold it down. Did I do that right? There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, and flatten. Okay, flip your work and do the exact same thing with this flap here. Squoosh. And again, the top flap. Bring it on down. All right, so from here, going to turn this and this one together. So we got like 4 segments here, and then flatten that. And we're going to do the same thing with our remaining flap here and flap here. Same exact thing. So bringing this little edge to the center. Okay, it looks like this one I was off a little bit, and that's all right. I can fix that. It's not a problem. There we go. That's better. There we are. And then bring this flap down. Flip it over. Do the same thing with this little guy. And smoosh. Bring that flap down. And we are, believe it or not, we are in the home stretch. Okay, so before we open up our little dish, we need to lock these flaps in place. And so using this edge here and the flap that we have, basically folding the flap underneath that right there and continuing on that folded edge to the point. So how I like to approach it is, after folding that back underneath, pinch it down, and then coaxing the paper to continue on down to the point. Just sort of coax it. Doesn't have to be perfect. There. So that is one locked into place. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold that little flap right underneath there. Give it a good pinch. Hold it down, and then coax the rest of the way. There we go. Then take these two top ones, put them together, and these two, bring them together, and then we have to do this flap and this flap. So scoot you underneath there, and pinch, and coax. Not perfect, but it works. Okay, and then flip it over, do this one. There. All right, now for the pièce de résistance, we shall open up our bowl. All right, so to open up the bowl, start by opening up the top of it. Now you'll notice that it has on the inside this weird thing sticking up, right? Well, if you open up the bowl, and then if you insert your fingers, we're going to be pushing these out. So push the inside up and out. Like so. There we go. And then once you have pushed up as much as you can, just be gentle with it. But once you've done that, then what I find helps is if from the inside you push down and try to crease it as you go, and that's the inner square that we were doing before. Ta-da! A little dish. Absolutely adorable, and I really, really like these. You know, perfect for, loose change, bit of jewelry, tchotchkes, what have you. There you are. All right, my dears, so that's going to conclude today's video on how to make a little origami dish. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation. And tell me, what are you going to put into your little dish? Also, one extra little thing is if you use perhaps a waxed paper, this could make a really great little food dish, I think. Or parchment paper even. Yeah. So, until next time, you know what to do, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay folding fabulous, fun, and functional things, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day, everybody, and bye for now.